Arnold Schwarzenegger, the man, the myth, the legend, inspiring people across the world to pursue their dreams in bodybuilding, acting, and politics. His career has extended across half a century, from the London stage in 1966 to being a global social media presence in 2022. But none of this would have happened had fate taken a cruel turn. We all have our vulnerabilities and weaknesses, and beneath Arnold's sculpted frame lay a dangerous chink that could have imploded at any moment. A congenital defect in his heart valve that made pumping blood through his main artery an onerous endeavour, which was exacerbated once the actor bulked up with muscle and used performance enhancers. As Schwarzenegger himself stated, the pressure became too enormous for the valve and my body was too big and too strong. He was in serious trouble and drastic steps had to be taken. So, on April 16th, 1997, Arnold Schwarzenegger underwent elective heart surgery to replace a defective congenital aortic heart valve. The star had opted against a mechanical valve replacement and chose a tissue valve because he felt a mechanical valve might limit his physical activity and capacity to exercise. The surgery was performed at USC's Health Science campus in California by Dr. Starnes and a team of 3 surgeons. The main issue was Schwarzenegger's aortic valve, which was failing to prevent blood from flowing back into the left ventricle of the heart, otherwise known as a bicuspid aortic valve. Unfortunately, the surgeons were unable to properly swap the aortic valve with the tissue one. Schwarzenegger later stated, "I started coughing and choking and not getting any air, and there was fluid going into the lungs." The situation became incredibly serious as doctors scrambled to relieve the actor's pain. Schwarzenegger pointed out that now it gets very dangerous because to do 2 surgeries within 24 hours like that is risky. First they tell you there's a 6% chance of failure, this then doubles to 12%. It was an absolute disaster to be in and I thought it was the end of me. This number appears to be roughly correct, as a study from 2021 found that out of 80 patients who had the Ross procedure performed, 9 required re-intervention. Fortunately, the second operation was successful and the star left the hospital alive, ready to continue living a fruitful life. Well, the problem is, as studies point out, the Ross procedure often requires complex re-operations down the line, particularly in cases when a tissue heart valve is used as opposed to a mechanical one as it's worn down. So, on March 30th, 2018, Arnold returned to the operation room to have the valve replaced. For his second operation, the 70-year-old had a pulmonary valve replacement procedure performed at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California. Then, on October 23rd, 2020, he had to replace the aortic valve again through a major surgery performed at Cleveland Clinic. He later announced that he feels fantastic on his social media, indicating that the third heart operation was a complete success. So how common is this congenital heart disease? Well, studies suggest that around 20 people out of 1,000 suffer from bicuspid aortic valves, like Arnold. It should be noted that the mortality rate tends to be fairly low from this defect, but this article was likely examining normal adult patients with ordinary lifestyles. Arnold, however, was not an ordinary human being. The man won 7 Mr. Olympias and 14 world titles in total. He featured in films such as The Terminator and Commando, with the prevailing selling point being his insane physique. In order to achieve this, he has later admitted steroid usage, granted it was under doctors' supervision. But numerous researchers have found a positive correlation between anabolic usage and cardiovascular dysfunction, particularly in individuals who are more susceptible due to genetic defects, just like Arnold. Consequently, I'm trying to build a picture of the risks that he was taking in pursuing this bodybuilding career, as he was ultimately putting his life at risk in order to become the greatest. The gamble paid off, but it does beg the question, what if his heart had given way during the 1960s when his career was only beginning? The whole world of bodybuilding would have been drastically altered. Arnold has now adopted a largely plant-based diet in recent years, which is likely a solution to combat his heart problems. Gone are the days of him solely consuming steak and eggs. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Arnold is an absolute legend and an inspiration, so thank God we didn't lose him to this wretched genetic defect. Please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It genuinely means the world to me, and I'll continue to make content for you lovely people. Cheers.